Alright, for this Lord Tarapta special, you guys get visual. Taraptus turns his gaze towards the door. His face, these days the seat of worry and exhaustion, has become animated with obvious contempt. Good. You've arrived. I'd like to make introductions. Dwohurim, Harsca, Demnera, and Tempus Malleator. He points at each. This is Aurelia. I'm sure you're familiar with her type. You spared one just like her. Noticeable shift of eyes towards Tempus. Aurelia has nominally acquitted herself and even been of some use to the Archmage. She requested I put you all in touch, and I, being an idle concierge, agreed. Given her background, she may know something that helps you reach your goals. But why don't you go out for some drinks and ask her yourselves? I insist. And almost as an afterthought, Lord Taraptus looks over to his lenses. Oh, that's Geráck, Zold, they're together. He crosses his fingers just like that.
It's Geráck.
Lord Taraptus goes back to glaring at Aurelia.
Aurelia ignores him, looks at the three who just entered instead. A curious glance in her green eyes.
The drinks it is!
Dwohurim will look to this Dragonkin, then to Tempus. Do we have any acquaintance with you? Says stepping a step towards her, looking her up and down, basically.
You do not know me personally, Dwarf, no, but I have certainly heard of you. Are the rumors true, then? There are many about you, what you've done in Dragonhall, what you've tried to do, what you've succeeded at.
And yet I've heard none about you, Worm.
Yes. Suffice to
That
say
is how
that
you wish for us to call each other.
I apologize, Dwohurim. Suffice to say that had we met some years ago that we would have been enemies. However, many things have changed since then. I have changed since then. I would prefer to speak in a more comfortable environment. A glance towards Taraptus. My story is a long one.
Where would you find it be more comfortable?
Past that door, perhaps. Anywhere will do.
Beyond looks to Raptors. Looks over to those two. We can find. There is plenty of places we can. As Raptor said, grab a drink and speak friendly there.
Suppose. He sort of looks to Raptors, sort of giving him a bit of a glare, almost as if asking if he's truly serious about this.
Lord Taraptus looks at Dwohurim with perhaps, like, his expression has been, like, so fatigued and exhausted, particularly recently whenever Dwohurim went to speak with him. Lord Taraptus, dead serious.
Dwohurim looks tired as he then nods. Says, I suppose you should follow me then. As he turns and goes to leave the room for perhaps one of the smaller rooms. They're likely some like conference rooms or something that aren't being used by all the people who are no longer here.
Yeah, no.
Sure.
Lord Taraptus looks far more pleased now that Aurelia has stood up.
Leon's just looking over to him like, Just with this look of just like trying to work out, did something happen? Or...
Like he actually like slides on like spectacles and like begins to like roll through like his massive stacks of papers again, trying to solve the innumerable problems of Newport. And like he stops and he looks over at the dwarf, armored.
Yeah. Geráck stands up and says, "Until next time, Terratus."
Yes, until next time.
And walks over. Feeling a bit ignored, but...
Yeah. The very old and very tired mage lets out a loud sigh as you leave the room and close the door behind you.
Good luck with your work, Lord Traptus.
Be much better now that I can concentrate.
Such a busy man, and yet he makes time just to feel people uncomfortable. Although I suspect he does have reason to be uncomfortable in my presence.
It's a Tempus.
Tempus can't help but just keep a look at Dwarf, just kind of... He's shifting uncomfortable. He knows this is awkward, to say the least.
Lord Tarentus pipes up, "You can leave too, Tempus."
Tempus will leave. He doesn't want to spend any more time in there.
How about we just all go over here?
Yeah, like Lord Tempus thought, Lord Taraptus thought you all were going, so like Tempus is still standing there, like...
just standing by the door.
Bunch of dragon whatever sympathizers as like the door closes behind you.
It's Tempest is like cringing at each word that he can hear. He's pretty sure Taraptus is saying it loud enough so he can hear. Like,
it turns out when you're as fucking...
Malleators,
yeah, as it turns out when you're as powerful as Lord Taraptus is, you don't give a fuck who hears you if they're not as powerful as you.
I do admire the man. He is very efficient, putting all his liabilities in a nice, neat group to keep watch over. She says this with barely hidden contempt. But, yes.
I suppose now he's spread it out a little bit, send some of you to us. But why don't you go ahead and tell me why exactly it is that you wish to meet us? Seems that you do not enjoy the meeting.
I do enjoy the meeting with you, because if even some of the rumors of what you've managed to do in Dragonhall are true, then I am very impressed. It also means that you are the best people, the people most likely to succeed at opposing the free. You are part of the few people who have openly opposed them, who have went into their own domain and made it their own, or parts of it at least. I do not intend to hide the subject of Lord Taraptus's uncomfortable stares. Until some years ago, I used to be a member of the Black Fang, an assassin. I have done things that now perhaps I regret. There are many things I do regret, almost definitely, about that time, and my loyalties have since then shifted rather dramatically. I do, however, have a hard time convincing people of the fact.
I imagine. It seems like the second telling of that tale is less convincing. Look at the Tempest.
Tempus will just sort of be walking up as this conversation's taking place. You know, seeing as he was kind of left into Raptus's room. It's like a bit like a sort of child that was feeling he was going to get shouted at. So, I guess new friends.
You have not yet asked me anything, and you already consider me a friend? I'm not sure if that is wise, to be honest.
Well, you left the same room as Seraptis, and we're all still alive. I think that's a good positive start.
Aurelia cocks her head slightly, smiles a predatory smile. Not slightly. Yes, I suspect that if we had had this exact meeting some years ago, it would have... Well, it would not have taken place in the first place, but it would also have ended in a rather messy way, I suppose. Regardless, I have requested meeting you for one main reason. I know that you are opposing the free. I know that you are willing to do things that others would not be. I know that you have been successful. And I know that the shadow war between the Archmage, the free, and whoever else is involved will stay in the shadows not much longer. In an open war, I would be alone and would not be able to succeed. I am looking for allies, as it were. And I have been told that you are the people to look for.
I guess we've made a bigger name for ourselves than we thought.
In some circles, yes.
He looks to the dwarf and says, "And you then? I assume you were not a member of the Black Fang who recently left."
No.
Geráck has sort of been leaning to the wall, waiting for someone to acknowledge that he's there, and sort of looks to you and says, no, I'm not. I am, however, I know Aurelia from before. She was hired to assassinate me back in Concord when I was staying there with my companions from the Frost Range Mountains. But she chose not to. And from then on, I kind of have owed her a debt, you could say.
As it happens, I did not kill him. However, he did kill me. Or so most of my old associates think.
Yes, that's the arrangement we came to.
Concord, you say? You've travelled quite a distance.
Yes, I have been out for some time, looking for two of my lost kin who disappeared about a year ago. Or a few years ago, I would say. I haven't found much in the way of leads. Only that they traveled southeast from our homeland.
And
However, I have heard a bit about you and what you are trying to accomplish. And as it happens, the Black Fang and the Free are no friends of mine either.
And you are going after who is known as Auxilia, yes?
you know where we might find her?
I do not. However, if you wish to see her gone, then we have very similar goals. I am afraid that the knowledge I will be able to provide regarding the inner workings of the Black Fang will be limited. Communication is limited to direct associates. The Black Fang is a large beast, Seeing one of its limbs will not tell you what kind of beast it is. It is difficult to know enough to be a threat to it, but I believe that is the point.
Why did you leave it?
It is a long story. Perhaps not as long as I make it out to be, yet it makes me uncomfortable. You do, however, deserve an answer. Some years ago, I would not have questioned whatever orders I got. To kill was my purpose. I was proud of efficiency. I was proud of serving the black, the blue, and the red, the free. They were perfect in my mind. Gods, although the main difference between gods and them was that they were very real. I was happy to serve a perfect master who had plans to make the world a better place for those who worshipped them. I did not question anything. I did not question my place. I did not question whether killing those people was right or wrong. I did, and I did it with pride. However, there was a mistake I made, a lapse of discipline. I had a son. I was told that he had died at birth, and I accepted it and went back to my business. It took me many years to hear about what actually happened to him. He did not die at birth. He was taken from me. They did to him what was done to me. They put him through the same training, with the difference being that he did not survive. It is something I, again, try to accept. But then I started thinking. It was a lie that was told to me. A big lie. A lie that was not just made offhandedly, motivated by ambition or anything else. It was an organized lie. My superiors lied to me. My associates lied to me. They all did. And if they can lie to me, even though they were, indirectly or not, assigned to their positions by the perfect black herself, then how higher up does the lie go? If the black lies to me, even though I have always served her perfectly, then she cannot be perfect. If she was perfect, then either I would have never found out, or she would have no reason to lie. It took me many years to work through that train of thought. And in the end, I realized that I no longer had any care for the free. Quite the opposite. I no longer wished them to exist. I am driven by the sole motivation of making sure that they will never lie to anyone again. And the only way to do that is to destroy them utterly. It is ambitious, perhaps naive, but spoiling their plans, it is a good start. I am after Aurelia because I have found out that she was part of the conspiracy that took my son away from me. It was difficult information to obtain, very difficult, but it was worth it in the end. Removing her will not bring my son back. Removing the free would not bring my son back. But it is a new purpose in life, a purpose that I think suits your needs rather well. I do not intend to let the free do to anyone else what they did to me. They have made me into the perfect tool, the perfect servant. I was aware that I was a tool. I was happy that I was. Until I started thinking for myself. Until they made me start thinking for myself. And I have decided that they are a threat to this world. I was stationed in Concord, as my friend over there said. For many years I did the Black Fang's work there, removing those that would be considered a threat to the Free's ambitions. But when I had finally come to my decision, I, for the first time, did not succeed in completing one of my orders. I met him, I talked to him, just as I am talking to you now, and on that day, I died. The old me died. To everyone's mind in the Black Fang, I am dead. And once they realize that I am not, it will hopefully be too late for them.
Next back to the dwarf. Geráck, was it?
Yes.
You come here simply as a companion of Aurelia, or...
That is not why I came here originally, but I met up with her here. I didn't expect to find her, but as I said before, I am looking for my lost kin, and I thought I might find some leads here, but as far I have not. And then I heard some of what you have done in the past, and it seemed like our interests are aligned in that way.
What have brought you so against the blue and the three?
Well, for one, the Black Fang wants me dead. And
Why?
And I also serve the Great Gold Worm.
We have met few who have such a... There are few who follow the Great Worm, as far as I know.
Yes, there aren't very many of us. I am a student of the Blessed Halls from the Frost Range Mountains. We serve the Great Gold Worm. From
Dwohurim know anything about this? Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
Don't look at me.
Is it well enough known that
Yes,
a dwarf from the southern part of the...
It's not a thing that I made. It's a thing that Goger made, so you
Make
fucking
it
answer
so.
his question, Goger.
Alright. You certainly might have heard of it. You wouldn't know that much about it, though. It's not a very big order.
Has it existed for a long time?
Quite a long time.
There are probably like some children's tales or something about
There
someone
might
from
possibly
there,
be,
or like a rhyme or something like that.
might be, yes.
Kind of knowledge someone would have. Right, well, in that case, you'll sort of nod slightly as it makes sense. I mean, it's a long time since I've seen anything from home, even anyone.
It's been the same for me.
And to Geráck as well. As it turns out, I think we might need all the help we can get. People change, and looks to Geráck as if you vouch for her, that certainly does set my heart more at ease.
I am quite sure that she has turned to the right path, so to speak.
And his tools are dangerous. And a friend of mine used to say that living things can never be tools. They can be allies. Bought for a time, perhaps, but never tools. Looks to Aurelia. I will not act as if you are one.
She nods at you, a very deep and very genuine nod.
Looks to Leon and Tempus. Try to read their faces. They've been very quiet.
Leon has given quite a bit of thought this entire time. More attention actually on Geráck than there is onto. How do you pronounce it again?
Aurelia.
Aurelia. The only real like change in his face has been a few times Concord has been mentioned.
The fun way to remember Sheep's character's name is just think, oh really? Ah.
I was thinking Aurora, but with Aurelia.
Yeah,
I was so yes.
I was on Malachi's side, though I do like what Sheep was posting.
Aurelia.
Oh, the dragon whatevers.
The dragon whatnots.
The dragon knots.
Yeah. Excuse Lord Raptor, he's a little old.
He's set in his ways.
I'm sure he has his reasons.
Tempus is very intrigued, but he's actually more eyeing up Geráck more than anything else. He's trying to find his affiliation, you know. But he's not had the best of times with dwarves.
Was closer then. So I'll just look more Aurelia. So yeah. Speak then. You said you know something that might be of use to us.
I do believe that Lord Raptus might have exaggerated. I've arrived recently, and while I, too, am looking for Auxilia, I know little of use. She is undoubtedly a member of the Black Fang, I know that much, but it is not like I had access to information about her. I know that Auxilia is not her real name, for one. It is an honorific, a title. Cruelty's mask. Fitting, I suppose, but of little help.
Is she human?
I do not know.
Well, you have found people in great cities before, I imagine, with nothing but a name. How would you start?
Chances are she will not hide in. She thinks. She will wish to be in a comfortable environment. She would need followers. She would need a location. I suspect the closest thing to look for is something resembling Dragonhall, which I do believe exists in this city. It would be the place where I would start.
How would you start there?
It is difficult. I have to admit I do not know. I was an assassin, yes. I got given information on people, and then I made them disappear. However, finding them is more difficult. You have the connections in this city. I am a newcomer. I am not working in an environment that I've been trained to work in. It does appear like I have to rely on you.
Dwohurim looks at Tempus and Leon. Says, What leads do we have, Tempus?
Well, I could always. I know someone in regards to Doran. Thurl. Sorry, not Doran. Thurl. One of his manservants owes a few favors. I've been offered those few favors. What that'll lead to? That's questionable. I'm not sure that a foot servant will be in that much of a position to give us much, but it might give us access so we can look for more. That runs the risk that we could piss off a lot of people, though, but it depends what you're looking for. In regards to leads, that's all I've got for the moment. I might need a bit of time to figure out what avenue you'd like to approach. Deal with Earl or deal with something else.
It is plausible that she has a cover operation, as it were, something that produces income and a face to the Black Fang's operations here.
That face likely to be that of a dwarf.